So welcome back to the channel, and today is the last team preview for the AFC West, the Los Angeles Chargers. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I've got plenty more coming over the next few weeks. Uploads are every 2 to 3 days. Enjoy the video. So looking back to the 2019 season, and for the Chargers, it was very disappointing. It was a 5-11 finish, last in the AFC West, very poor by all accounts. 2017, 2018, they were really good under Lynn, but last year, again, as I said, it was very poor by the Chargers standards. But, however, I am optimistic for their chance in 2020, but let's get into the rest of the 2020 preview. So the schedule for the Los Angeles Chargers in 2020 is the 10th easiest. They play the Chiefs and the Broncos home and away, obviously being divisional rivals, which are hard games. They also host the Patriots, and they're on the road to the Bills, the Bucks, and the Saints, which will be hard. So by no means an easy schedule, but the 10th easiest according to win percentages on the 2019 season. So looking towards the roster for the Chargers and the quarterback position. So it's the first time since 2008 the Chargers are talking about a new starting quarterback in LA after the Phil Rivers legacy has moved on to Indy. So now we've got Tyrod Taylor and Justin Herbert under center for 2020. And I envision that Tyrod will start the season and let Justin Herbert learn the scheme better. But I also believe that Justin Herbert will be introduced sooner than the Chargers would like in an ideal scenario, after potentially a poor start to the 2020 season because they play the Chiefs, the Bucks and the Saints before their bye week. I think that Justin Herbert will be the franchise quarterback for years and years to come. He certainly has what it takes to be an NFL quarterback. He just needs to keep performing well and transferring his college game to an NFL standard, which means a quicker pass rush, less time for decision making. But overall, he has everything that he needs to succeed in the NFL. So running back one for the Los Angeles Chargers is Austin Ekeler, and he is a great player. He had 1,500 all-purpose yards in 2020, and that was only with 8 starts. You know, they had to accommodate Melvin starting when he was fit as well. So the Chargers will hope for his production again this year. They also added a running back from the draft to provide some good backup from UCLA, but Austin Ekeler will be the main man in 2020. So Keenan Allen, Mike Williams and KJ Hill certainly make up an imposing group of wide receivers. You've got KJ Hill with great speed, Keenan Allen, great medium routes, and his route running is really amazing, some of the best in the NFL. And you've got Mike Williams, he's got strength and one-on-one ability when he's fit. And Keenan Allen is definitely one of the best receivers in the league. He's constantly up in the top 10 for stats every year. And here's my video on him if you're interested in watching it. So the O-line has had upgrades over the offseason too. Try Turner, Brian Bulaga bringing in their veteran knowledge and experience. And this is only going to help Justin Herbert with, buying him as much time in the pocket as possible and increases in his protection when he does finally come under center in 2020. So I think they've made some really good moves here to bolster this O-line. So go and let me know now in the comments, who do you think the best offensive player will be for the Chargers in 2020? So looking towards the defensive side of the ball, and the LA Chargers have definitely got one of the most frightening front fours in all of the NFL. You've got Melvin Ingram, Joey Bosa, Linval Joseph all combining and coming together in 2020. They had 21.5 sacks between them last season. And then you look towards the linebackers just behind them. You've got Denzel Perryman accompanying Kenneth Murray, who was a stud from the draft, over 250 tackles and almost 30 of them for loss in his last 2 seasons with Oklahoma. So, the front seven does look really set for the Chargers. Then you look back towards the secondary, and it was just outside the top 10 in PFF rankings, largely due to Derwin James missing 11 games of the 2019 season. But it's an area that they've strengthened even more over the 2020 offseason. They brought in Chris Harris from the Broncos, and hopefully they'll have a Derwin James fit for 2020. But coming together, the Chargers defense does look like one of the best units overall heading into the 2020 season, with really no weaknesses on this roster. So I think that they're going to definitely be a force to compete with. And I think even the top scoring offenses in the league, like the Chiefs, will have potentially some problems trying to score against this D. So again, let me know, who do you think will be the biggest difference maker on the defense? Bosa? Will it be Derwin James? Or do you think it'll be someone else? Go and let me know now in the comments. So now looking towards the coaching side of things, you've got head coach Anthony Lynn. It's his 4th season in charge in 2020, and it's kind of slightly unusual, his position, his way working up to the top. He didn't have a lot of experience as an offensive coordinator. He only did 1 year at the Bills, where he was kind of mixing an offensive coordinator and a running back coach. But then he's done well with the Chargers until 2019, where they did poorly last year, but potentially we'll see a big bounce back in 2020. Then looking towards the defensive coordinator, Gus Bradley. He's been with the Chargers for 3 years now after being in his head head coach role at the Jaguars. He's done a pretty good job overall, and I'm sure he'll be absolutely thrilled to hear what weapons he's got to work with in 2020. So there's definitely no excuse for him coming into this season. And then offensive coordinator Shane Steichen, he's got his first really kind of big role in the NFL. He's been an offensive assistant in college football, the NFL, then a quarterback coach for a while. Then he was interim offensive coordinator in 2019, and now the Chargers have said that he has got the job permanently heading into 2020. So well done to him. And I think that the offensive coordinator job is really something that I'd keep a close eye on, because obviously he's in his first year in the job. He's never really quite had that responsibility before, but he's got a lot of weapons again to work with, so we'll see how that one pans out. So looking towards the transactions in the 2020 offseason from the Los Angeles Chargers, they brought in Try Turner in a trade with the Panthers. They gave away Russell Okung, the tackle, but I think this is really good. They really did need a solid guard, and they obviously brought in Brian Bulaga from free agency, but a guard, a really solid one, was kind of something that the Chargers needed, so I think this is a good move for them. And then looking towards the draft, so obviously they had Justin Herbert at the number 6 overall spot. He's going to be their franchise quarterback. Like I said, I think he's ready to step in and play in the NFL, but I think they will hold him back. He's very talented, but the Chargers will be hoping that he can do for the franchise what Philip Rivers has done for all of these years, and really solidify the Chargers offense as one of the better ones in the next few years. Then you've got Kenneth Murray, who I've touched on already, the inside linebacker from Oklahoma. He's been quality all his way through college. And then Josh Kelly provides a good backup for Austin Ekeler. He's the running back from UCLA. And then you've got Alohi Gilman, provides some real strength in depth at the safety spot, which they've already looked to strengthen. But for me, I think one of their biggest steals of any of the teams was to pick up KJ Hill in the 7th round. That's an absolute steal. He's been racking up the numbers for Ohio State. He's an absolute speed merchant. So to be able to still pick him up in the 7th round is, like I mentioned, an absolute steal. And I think this is a really good piece of business from them. So looking towards free agency, they didn't really actually have a lot of notable leavers. They had, a decent amount of players leave, as everyone does in free agency, but notably it was only really Philip Rivers and Melvin Gordon that left. But coming in, they had Brian Bulaga, Chris Harris Jr., then they re-signed Hunter Henry and Austin Ekeler, who have been both very good for the Chargers, and they exercised the 5th-year option on Mike Williams, which was a no-brainer. So, not too much movement in and out, but, a decent amount of stability in Los Angeles for the Chargers. So we'll see how those moves kind of pan out. But I do really like the Chargers' moves in the 2020 offseason. They've built a really formidable defense, I think, heading into this year. And as they say, defense wins championships. So we will see if that happens. We'll see if the Chargers' defense lives up to expectations. But it's certainly a good outlook for 2020 and the Chargers, I would say. So my floor for them would be 6-10 if they have some injuries in key positions like they did last year. Derwin James went down in the secondary or kind of faltered around him. Otherwise, their ceiling is probably 11-5 if it all clicks together. I still think the AFC West is going to be tough in 2020. All the other teams have strengthened their rosters really well. It's going to be a really competitive division, and they've also got some really tough road games, unfortunately, for the Chargers this year, which is kind of what keeps the cap at 11 wins for me. But overall, I'd say a good year for the Chargers. I'm excited to see how Herbert does, how he fares in the NFL, but I'd say that potentially they sneak a wildcard spot. So as ever, let me know your predictions for the Chargers. I want to know what you've got to say about them. Have I been too kind to the Chargers? Have I been a little bit harsh? Let me know what you think about it in the comments. So as I mentioned, I've got lots of videos coming out over the next few weeks. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Make sure to subscribe and then hit the notification bell so you never miss one of my videos. Uploads every 2 to 3 days. I'll see you in the next one.